We got a good one tonight. Thursday night action in Seattle. Of course, the Rams going up to visit the Seahawks for a little NFC West battle to kick off Week 5. We're breaking it all down right here on Good Morning Football live in New York City. It is October 3rd. It's a special day here at the breakfast table and for the NFL because tonight, when the Rams and the Seahawks play, the NFL's Crucial Catch Initiative kicks off. The campaign supports the American Cancer Society. It addresses early detection and risk reduction for multiple types of cancers. And everything's customizable. You can find ways to prevent and live your life in a better way to fight against cancer. Do it by going to NFL.com/crucialcatch.
Let's get going.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, time for Lead Block.
Lead Block!
Let's go to CenturyLink Field there where we find our very own Omar Ruiz this morning. He's with us live. Omar, thanks for joining us, as always. Yesterday, we discussed Aaron Donald and how he has sacked Russell Wilson a lot, 10.5 times, more than any other quarterback in his career. What's the Seahawks' game plan for slowing down Donald tonight?
Well, the Seahawks going full G.I. Joe this week. Knowing is half the battle. They have to know where Aaron Donald is at all times and get their hands on him as much as possible. DJ Fluker said it is all about preparation, especially on this short week, perhaps even more so mentally than physically. But then Fluker followed up by saying, do we want to play physically? Hell yeah. Center Justin Britt echoing that sentiment. Of course, it was Britt that got into it with Aaron Donald after their game last November. Britt told me that he's not going into this one looking to start anything. Last year is last year, but if he's able to draw a penalty or two on Donald and that defense, they'll certainly take it, whatever it takes to win.
That's exactly what I said when they said, you know what, we're having Omar on the show. I said, hell yeah. All right, Omar, now listen, what is head coach Pete Carroll talking about when it comes to facing Jared Goff in that offense?
Well, they feel that their defense is just getting warmed up, especially when you consider three of their most impactful defenders from Sunday against the Cardinals haven't had too much experience here. Michael Kendricks, a couple sacks, has only played a handful of games with the Seahawks. And Carroll's saying they're still figuring out how to best utilize both of their new Pro Bowl pass rushers, Jadeveon Clowney and Ziggy Ansah. Ansah playing extensively for the first time on Sunday, 5 tackles, had that sack, and of course Jadeveon Clowney had that big pick 6. Clowney telling me they know they have to get pressure on Jared Goff. If they're able to do so, they feel that they can dominate this game. He said that he wants to dominate each and every game. That's his mindset, and he has certainly had an impact. Might not have filled the stat sheet thus far for the Seahawks, but when he is on the field, they get pressure on the quarterback 33% of the time. When he is not on the field, it's only 10%. So Jadeveon Clowney making an impact in more ways than one. Hopes to continue that tonight under this Thursday night spotlight.
And he might have some success against an offensive line for the Rams that has not come together, which probably is what's also behind Todd Gurley not having as much success as we'd hoped throughout the first 4 weeks. Omar Ruiz, thanks for joining us from CenturyLink. We are hours away from Thursday night action. I want to talk about Todd Gurley. Okay. Here he is on his way to Seattle yesterday, self-made millionaire. We saw him get in the end zone twice last week, but he only had 5 carries for 16 yards, rather. How would you evaluate Gurley a quarter through the season? Kyle, I know you have takes.
TBD. Can this dog still hunt? I don't know. And I look, you remember the end of Mike Tyson's career? He's losing to Kevin McBride. He's getting knocked out by Danny Williams. And Mike Tyson should not have that happen to anybody. Todd Gurley for his whole life has been the best running back in the game. He's the guy in the poster. He's better than the other guy. You'd have to go back to his freshman year at Georgia when they got rolled up by Eddie Lacy and TJ Yeldon, for Gurley to be outplayed. Consecutive weeks. Ronald Jones has outplayed Todd Gurley. Nick Chubb, his former college teammate, has outplayed Todd Gurley. McCaffrey has. Go back to the Super Bowl. Sony Michel was better than Todd Gurley. Kamara in the title game. This has been a 6 or 7 week stretch where Todd Gurley, rock star, best offensive player in our sport the last 3 years, is getting outplayed. So what is he going to do about that tonight? Because they got tonight. Chris Carson is having a year right now. Chris Carson, if you watched him last week, he won our Angry Runs trophy. We do a segment on Tuesdays that has the fiercest, most professionally intimidating runs. Chris Carson won it. Show what Kay has right now. Kay has the Angry Runs crown that we gave to Chris. Go to Kay's camera. We gave to Chris Carson last week. Todd Gurley has won every award, every FedEx, Aaron Brown. He should try to win this because the guy who's going to get tonight is a bad dude. We sent it to him. We like to get a picture back from the winner. Seahawks have a short week. I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to send one or not because they focused. Chris Carson's got the crown. He's got the letter. Todd Gurley, you have every accolade in your career. You've been outplayed by the other running backs about 6 or 7 straight games. Do something about tonight. I want to send that crown to Los Angeles next week.
I also think, and I love Carson versus Gurley. It's a good matchup, and that's cool that he's doing that on a short week. We love the Seahawks for doing that, and Carson. I think Gurley is misunderstood a bit by us at home. Gurley was on a lot of commercials right out of the gate. Gurley was the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year and was all smiles. He was this great story. Gurley is not a media maven, though. Gurley's kind of an introvert, and I think there's things starting to boil over a bit. I don't know if you watched the press conference yesterday. Local reporters asked Gurley about the 5 carries, 16-yard performance. Listen to Gurley's response and how he handles questions about his lack of production thus far.
He said about just being able to kind of move on really quickly from Sunday's game.
Nothing really.
Noise was a factor in anything.
Still lost, don't matter.
Is this the guy who's going to say, hey, let's go? I don't know if that's in Gurley's makeup. So here you have a player who's had all the success early on. Now it's the dark times. This is adversity, and it doesn't have to be, but last year at this point, going into week 5, he had 79 carries. Going into tonight, he's got 49 carries. Todd Gurley, I don't know what's left of Todd Gurley, but I know there's still a long season left. Tonight could be a great statement game. I want to see Todd Gurley smiling again. That Todd Gurley is not the Todd Gurley we've known to love, and I don't think that's the best version of Todd Gurley.
That's just it. You said there's a long season left, and I'll get to that in a second. Kyle, you went on this long rant, and you talked about Todd Gurley and wanting to win the crown and playing like he used to. And with all due respect, I'll say, who cares? Who cares whether he's the best running back in the business? I used to be on that hype train. I walked off a couple weeks ago because I realized the offense isn't built around Todd Gurley like it used to be. You guys are speaking as if he lost his powers. I'm thinking more Austin Powers. Okay. There's a movie where he had to get his mojo back.
Sure, yeah.
And it took the entire film, and we're sitting there waiting, and finally he gets it. This is a season worth of putting together film, and they're doing it by committee. The first few weeks, they averaged 28 rushes, a buck 27, and that's by committee. And they won those games. Last week, 10, 11 rushes, 28
11
yards.
run plays. He dropped back 70 times. They're never going to win if they do that.
So, Nate, I like Tito and Jermaine and all those guys. We got to have Mike.
I know. But to that point, though.
All due respect to Malcolm Brown, Nate.
The reason I wanted to bring up last week, the 11 times that he rushed and the 28 rushing yards, was a simple fact that if the defense gets behind that early, you can't tote the rock with your running back. What are you going to do? Milk the clock with Todd Gurley because you want to give him some yards? No. When you got Jameis Winston cutting up your defense, you have to drop back and throw that
Tell
rock.
me about what you're seeing when you're watching. It's not Austin Power. His explosiveness is not there.
He scored 2 touchdowns last week.
And he looked good at certain moments. And that touchdown did not. Can you really tell me that you watching Todd Gurley play over the past 3 weeks when he is given the ball is the same player that he's been over the past 3 years?
I just said I hopped off the hype train of Todd Gurley being the best running back. So for me, I've already accepted
Rams got to adapt and move on.
He isn't the same running back.
Conceding.
So they have to do running back by committee. The Patriots are great at it. If you guys want to complain that he made so much money, he's getting paid like a top-tier running back, that financial boat has left the dock. We can't complain about that. Use the running backs that you have in that roster by committee, and that way we don't have to sit there and say, is Todd Gurley the best running back? Maybe he isn't.
Nate, you spent the whole offseason saying you're familiar with his injury.
Yep.
He's still got it. Draft him in fantasy. Gurley's going to Gurley. He's not Gurleying. He doesn't look like himself. Are you conceding that something's up? Because we all think we all agree.
I'm conceding that he's not the same man that he used to be.
Right.
And
But
if
not
that's the
from
case,
a physical standpoint.
from a physical standpoint, and I don't care about his personality. He's always been that same dude. Todd Gurley has been one of those individuals that can care less about the hype, can care less about the criticism.
He's about his cat.
He's very
Loves
chill,
his cat.
very low key. I will say this: if Sean McVay is indeed the boy genius that he really is, then build an offense that can use whatever sauce that Todd Gurley has left, and then that way we're not having this question on Monday.
What if he goes out tonight and goes 152 touchdowns?
Totally.
Are we like, all right, he's back?
How many carries? 20? I just don't see it. I'm not seeing anything in the first month that says that's.
And another thing.
It's less about numbers. It's more like juice.
Yes.
They
Panache,
could be.
energy, flamboyance. Where is
Remember,
that?
we talked about what the plan could be? They could be saving him for the end of the season. That could be the ultimate plan. Maybe in December he goes off.
There's another running back in the NFL who crushed it in week 4. His name is Leonard Fournette.
Talk about it.
Coach on in just a second.